Welcome to the SQL beginner tutorial. In this tutorial, I will teach you each and everything you need to know to get started using SQL database programming. SQL is a language used to interact with relational database management system. For implementing SQL queries, we will install Xampp server. So open your browser and type download Xampp and open the first link from the Apache Friends, and it offer you the different version. You can download any of the version. On clicking the download link, it will start to download. And the Xampp server is started downloading. Wait for the download to complete. It will take few minutes to download. After your download is complete, open your download folder and install the Xampp. It will take few minutes to install the Xampp server. So wait for the installation. After the installation is complete, you can search for Xampp server and open it. Here you can start Apache and MySQL and click on admin. Here click on PHP MyAdmin, and it is the interface of Xampp server where we will implement SQL queries. First of all, you need to create a database. You can create a new database by clicking on SQL, and here you can create a new database by typing create database and the name of your database, my database. And when you will run this query by clicking on go, it will create a database, my database. Here you can see database named my database is created. After creating the database, you can create tables in database. By clicking on database, you can create tables. Here you can enter table names and the number of columns that the table will have. And after this, you will click on create button. But we will create table using SQL. So click on SQL and create a table. So we can create a table by the SQL query. First of all, type create table and then enter the name of the table. For example, we are creating a table for an employee, so name this EMP. After this, open and close brackets, and in these brackets create the attributes of the table. For example, an employee table will have employee name, employee ID, and employee salary. So first of all, create an attribute employee ID and give this the data type int, as employee ID will be of the type integer. After this, you can create other attributes, employee name, and give this the type of varchar. Varchar is the type used to store the string or text values, and give this the length. Name could be of length 20 up to 20, so enter the 20. After this, create the other attribute, which would be employee salary. This would be of type int, and now you can run the query, and this will create a table employee having attributes employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Here you can set a primary key, employee ID. Simply type primary key with employee ID. Also, there is another way to set primary key. You can type primary key, and after this in brackets type the attribute which you want to set the primary key, like employee ID. This will also create the primary key for the table. But in this case, we are executing the query as we have typed above. So now you can run the query, and it created the table employee. Here you can click on the employee, and employee ID, employee name, employee salary attributes are created. Now you can check the details of the employee table by the query describe employee. Run the query, and here you can see different fields: employee ID, employee name, employee salary, and their types are described. You can alter your table. For example, you can add or remove attributes. First of all, we are altering the table by adding an attribute. So type alter table and the name of the table. In my case, the table name is employee. Add An attribute we are going to add is department ID, and give this the type of department ID will be int. Now run your query, and now again run the query describe table, and now you can see department ID is also added in our table. Similarly, we can drop the attribute. So alter table emp drop. For adding we will use the keyword add, and for deleting we will use the keyword drop. Column department ID, and run this query, and it will ask you are going to delete a column. Okay, and now you can check the detail of your table by describe table, run the query, and now you can see department ID attribute is deleted. Now we will insert data in our table. To insert data, you will use the insert query, insert into, and give the table name emp, and type keyword values, and enter the values of the attributes. First attribute for our table is employee ID. Type employee ID 1. After this, the next attribute was employee name. Type Asif. String will be written in single quotation mark. And third attribute was employee salary 50,000. Now run the query, and you can check the result. One row is added, employee ID 1, employee name Asif, employee salary 50,000. You can also check these details by select and it displayed in similar way. Now we will enter more records. Here type insert into table employee and values. Now the employee ID will be 2. And employee name is Sajid, and the employee salary is 45,000. Similarly, enter more records. employee ID 3, name of the employee is Margin, and employee salary is 40,000. Next, employee ID is 4, employee name is Zartab, employee salary is 60,000. Now employee ID is 5, employee name is Abdul, and employee salary is 30,000. Now run the query, and now you can check the detail, select all from employee, run the query, and see here 5 records are added to the table, employee ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and employee names and employee salaries are also added. After this, insert statement, we will update the record using update statement. For example, in our table employee, we want to update the name Abdul to Halim in the 5th record where employee ID is 5. So come in SQL tab and here type update employee, set employee name equal to Halim, where employee ID is 5. Run the query, and now you can check the table and see here the name Abdul is changed, updated to Halim. Now we will see how we can delete a record or a row. So you can delete a record by delete statement, delete from employee where employee ID is equal to 5. You can give the different attributes where employee name is equal to, where employee ID is equal to 5, 4 or anything. In this case, it will delete a record where the employee ID will be 5. Run the query, and now select all from the table employee and see here the 5th record where the name was Halim is deleted now. Now we will see some basic SQL queries which we can implement on our tables. So first of all, there is a select query. Select and place star, it means select all from and give the table name emp. It will retrieve the records from the table, and see here it retrieve the data from the table. Similarly, we can select from table, select different attributes of our choice. For example, select employee ID and employee salary from emp. It will only retrieve the employee ID and employee salary from the employee table. Run and see it retrieved employee ID and employee salary. Similarly, you can retrieve attributes on the basis of some condition. For condition, we use the where clause, where give the condition where employee salary is equal to 50,000. Run the query and see it give us the employee ID and the employee salary. Here you can also type employee name and then run the query, and it display the record having the salary 50,000, that is Asif. Similarly, you can use conditions. Other condition, you can use not equal. Now it will return the record where the salary will not equal to 50,000. Run the query and see here it return the all records where the salary is not equal to 50,000. You can use less than or greater than, where salary is greater than 50,000. Run the query and see it return the zartab that salary is 60,000. You can also use greater than instead of less than. Now it will retrieve the records having the salary less than 50,000. See here, Sajid and Majid are the employee having salary less than 50,000. Now we will see some other operators which we can use. First of all, we will discuss in operator. Select all from emp, where employee name in Sajid, comma Majid. It will retrieve the record where employee name will be Sajid or Majid. You can pass multiple values in operator, Sajid, Majid, Asif and extra. It will check all the records and will retrieve the record that will be in statement. Let's run the query and see it retrieve the record where the employee name is Sajid and Majid. It is similar to OR operator where employee name is Sajid or Majid. Similarly, you can use OR operator instead of in statement, but in statement is faster than OR operator. Sorry, in operator is faster than OR operator. After this, there is between operator. And here employee salary. Select all from employee where employee salary between 40,000 to 50,000 or 55,000. Run the query. There is an error. There is a syntax error in between operator. We cannot use brackets in between operator, but we have to use AND operator with between operator. 40,000 and 55,000. Now run the query. Also there is no is in the query. Now run again and check the result. It display the table records where employee salary is between 40,000 and 55,000. So you can use between operator in this way.